Hey everyone, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today I have a fresh stack of records, some new vinyl pickups that I want to share with all of you. Plus I want to talk about some recent music experiences and concerts that I've attended and been part of lately. It has been a really exciting time for me as a music fan, not necessarily as a Rush fan because I don't know about you, I tried to get tickets, I saw that they were $500,000, $267,000 each. And I'm a public school teacher, but with these new pickups, there's just things that I could not resist adding to the collection. You guys get it. So let's jump right into this. The first record that I want to show off, this is Gem Records Celebrates David Bowie. I have really been enjoying this whole Gem Records Celebrate series. They have done tributes, as you can see behind me. It's like I set this up or something. To John Lennon, Pete Townsend, Brian Wilson, Ray Davies of the Kinks, and now Bowie. What I love about this series, it's not just like your straight cover. It's not like a cover album necessarily. It's these incredible artists and superstars from the Gem family that are very much reinterpreting the songs. So they have their own unique spin and flair to it. So it ends up being both a celebration of the original, but also a showcase of the performers' personalities, especially the ones on here I love. For example, the Gripweeds, Paul Collins, the Anderson Council, the Sins, the Midnight Callers. These are all bands that I absolutely love and adore, that are incredible bands in their own right, but really bring it in these Celebrate series. So I had to pick up the new one. It does come out, or it is out, on limited edition gold vinyl. So it fits that cover nice and perfect and pretty. And then, of course, the music nerd in me had to get the signed flat. So you guys know how it goes. Gem Records Celebrates Bowie. Check this out. Speaking of the Gripweeds, now I can't remember if I showed this or not, but regardless, this came out in June, and it is the new album by the Gripweeds called Soulbender. The Gripweeds have always nailed the mix of like jingly, psychedelic, power pop, pure rock and roll grit, and this new album, Soulbender, just carries the torch perfectly. Again, this came out in June, and I can't remember if I've shown this on the channel. I don't think I have, which is why I had this off to the side, but since it connects to that whole Gem Records Celebrates family and so on, I figured that I'd toss it in here. So this is definitely a contender for one of my favorite albums of the year. I would say that right now it's absolutely sitting in a top 10, if not top 5. Really solid stuff. Dylan and I did an interview back in June when this came out with Kurt Ryle of the Gripweeds, so I will link that down below if you are interested in checking it out and learning more about the band, but also the recording of the album. So check it out, Gripweeds, fantastic new album. If you are a fan of jangly psych pop sound with a modern twist, highly recommend checking this album out. Great songs on here. Spinning the Wheel, Flowers for Cynthia, my personal favorite, Fragmented, so freaking good. All right, next up we have Chris Stamey's new album, another new album. This is Anything Is Possible. This came out this year. Now, I have always admired Chris Stamey, both for his role in the DBs, but also his broader connections to that like big star Alex Chilton circle, which is sort of how I really got to know him and discover him, and then in turn I really got into going back and listening to the DBs, which is one of my favorite bands now. So I love Chris Stamey so much. He is one of those artists who has quietly had a hand in so many important moments in power pop and alternative rock, and his solo work has always been consistently strong. So this album definitely is up there for me as well. It really reflects, in my opinion, that history, right, that I just kind of said. It's polished but personal, you guys get what I'm saying. There's like this certain warmth to his writing, and he has this gift for blending power pop brightness with very thoughtful, reflective lyrics. So this is an album that, you know, and I say this often, but it feels old, but it feels new. it definitely rewards repeat listens. It's a very unique release. It also features contributions from bands like the Lemon Twigs, Mitch Easter, you have Matt Douglas of the Mountain Goats, you have Marshall Crenshaw, and so, yeah, I definitely highly recommend checking this album out. I have nothing but great things to say when it comes to Chris Stamey, also just a really nice guy. So, Chris Stamey, anything is possible. Alright. Next album that I picked up, we have to do the Mule, Gov't Mule. This is their album Like a River, and I actually saw them for the first time a couple of months ago, and I did a video on it that I'm going to link down below. If you've not seen it, definitely watch that, especially if you're a fan of Gov't Mule and Warren Haynes, but that concert blew my mind. Warren and the band were unstoppable. They were weaving these long, soulful jams that had just the whole crowd locked in, including me. I was just sitting there like, literally. Warren Haynes in particular was just mesmerizing. I could have watched him play all night. His phrasing, his tone, the sheer emotion that he pours into every note is just absolutely incredible. So what a fucking awesome live band. And after that night, I knew that I had to start digging into their records. So, Like a River, now this was a very easy one to track down on vinyl. Hopefully I can track some other ones down, but this one was like readily available. So I'm hooked now. I cannot wait to explore more of their catalog. Just an incredible live band. But an incredible band in general. But live, holy shit. Anyway, speaking of live energy, we're transitioning over to a couple of albums that I've picked up recently, and that is the Mesthetics and James Brandon Lewis. Now, this one is very special to me because I actually just saw them in concert recently. Being a huge Fugazi girl, when I saw that Brendan and Joe, the rhythm section of Fugazi, were playing an hour and some change away from me, I knew that I had to make it happen. I was talking to Dave over at Local Bandography about it, and he sort of gave me that extra push to go. He's a huge Fugazi guy too, loves the Mesthetics, and so I needed that extra push, but I ended up going, and holy shit, I had a blast. I ended up getting sick after, so I don't know what happened with that, but it was so good. So seeing Brendan and Joe just absolutely kill it in this type of setting, very unique setting, alongside Anthony on guitar, and of course James Brandon Lewis on sax, was just a treat. Off with this playing, and on top of that, I had a chance to chat with Brendan afterward, which was surreal, guys. I was internally fangirling the whole time, and I got to quickly meet Joe and the other guys as well. As you can tell, I got my album signed. It's kind of hard to see. It was a really crappy marker, but so it goes. That's what they called them. Anyway, that whole experience makes this record even more special to me. Really great record in general. Now, I also grabbed at the merch booth this album. This is Anthropocosmic Nest. Bless me. It felt like a sneeze. They're just such a versatile band. So if you haven't heard of the Mesthetics, definitely check this band out. I don't even know a good way to explain their music. As you can see, they're all over the place, but holy crap, they are so good. So, Mesthetics. Another highlight, I also picked this up a while ago, but I do not think that I have shown this on the channel, and that is Stiv Bators' Disconnected. I picked this up when I went out record digging with fellow VC member Louis Golden. And now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, this was Stiv's first solo record. It was released in 1980, and it's such an interesting piece of his career. So, coming off of the Dead Boys, right, people expected this, like, raw punk chaos, but Disconnected leans very hard into the power pop and garage rock of like the late 60s, early 70s sphere. So you do get that snotty edge in Stiv's voice, right? It's always going to be there, but the hooks are front and center, and it shows just a very different, unique side to his songwriting. So This album is one of those cult classic albums that might fly under the radar, but once you hear it, you get why people still talk about it to this day. So I am so happy to finally have this in the collection. Like I said, I picked this up a few months ago, but I wanted to share this with all of you. All right, the next one finally grabbed this. This is David Gilmour's newish album, Luck and Strange. I definitely have a crush on him, so that's one thing. But what really pushed me to grab this was attending that one night only IMAX showing of Live at the Circus Maximus. This was last month, I believe. It's this concert film documenting his 2024 shows in Rome at the historic Circus Maximus. And seeing it in IMAX was just breathtaking. I was kind of on the fence about going, but I'm so freaking happy that I did. The visuals of that ancient venue paired with Gilmour's guitar tone just absolutely filling the theater was unreal. He obviously played a lot of material from Luck and Strange, which is why I wanted to pick this up. So after watching that, right, I was like, okay, I'm finally going to get this on vinyl. I streamed it when it came out, didn't buy it, but now I wanted it. So this album is fantastic. It's atmospheric, it's reflective. It's definitely a very deeply moving Gilmour release. So, if I had extra money to blow, I'd buy rush tickets. But then I'd also pick up the new Luck and Strange concert box set. But again, public school teacher, so this will have to do. But I got, I don't know what version this is. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's this, blue vinyl. Anyway. Final pickup. This is the brand new album, just came out a few weeks ago by Sloan. This is called Based on the Bestseller. Now, I absolutely love Sloan. For those that maybe aren't familiar with the band or have heard about them, they are a Canadian band. They're from Canada. They were formed in the early 90s, and their albums have a lot of variety to them. But they always manage to keep that signature Sloan sound, and I would say you have smart, hook-filled power pop with just the right amount of alternative edge, right? Which you kind of got with the power pop revival of the 90s and so on. So in my opinion, Sloan is one of the most underrated bands out there in the music sphere and in the vinyl community. So I absolutely love these guys. Definitely check them out. But Sloan's brand new album, 2025, Based on the Bestseller, this is up there for me as well. There's some really memorable songs on here. You have Dream Destroyer, you have Congratulations, Live Forever, Fortune Teller, No Damn Fears. This album's so good. So I have loved everything that they've put out. This new one is no exception to that. Hook after hook, you have sharp lyrics, you have that energy that they always bring. Based on the Bestseller by Sloan. I got the limited edition gold vinyl version, but this has definitely been on steady rotation for me since I picked this up. So highly recommend, check out Sloan. Their other releases are just as incredible as this one is, especially their 90s output, check it out. So, but with that, everybody, that is the stack. You have some classics in there, you have some new releases, you have albums that connect to live experiences and different experiences for me. Those are the type of records that I always love to have in the collection. Records that have some sort of connection and story to something that I've done or seen and so on. So I'm excited. There's a lot of new exciting things coming up. I'm excited to share it with all of you. Again, hopefully I can win the lottery and go see Rush in July. That is definitely my hope. I'm going to make it happen. We'll see. On top of that, Sugar. I'm going to be talking more about that, but my Bob Mould Sugar Power Pop fans, Sugar is back. Again, I will do a separate video talking about that, but I at least wanted to let you all know how excited I am about that. But with that, everybody, that is it for this video. Let me know down below what you have been listening to recently, maybe some new records that you've picked up, maybe some thoughts on some records that I have shown. But with that, that's it for this video. Last thing that I want to say, a couple days ago, the rock world lost one of the absolute legends, that is the Spaceman, Ace Frehley. So just wanted to give my little condolences to all of the Kiss fans, Kiss Army out there, and that was a hard loss for sure. But music lives on. Keep spinning it, you guys. Have a great day wherever you're watching or night, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye, guys.